Hey, Galena staff. This video is going to show you guys just the basics of using the Zoom to conduct your classroom virtually. So the first thing you're going to want to make sure you do is go to zoom.us and you're going to want to sign in. Now, if you haven't set up an account already, make sure that you create your account with your Washoe County email. It should be at washoeschools.net. The reason that you need to do that is because if you don't want to have the limit of 40 minutes for your meetings, you need to have a school district email. Now, right off the bat, if this is your first time, you want to make sure that you've signed up to have the education exemption. So if you click on plans and pricing and then find, solutions, and then find education, the first offer right here is going to be removing the 40-minute time limit. You're going to click request offer. You should already be logged in at this point. And then you're going to fill out this information with all of the notices. Once they go through that information, they'll verify it and you will be able to host meetings without that limit. So I'm going to go to my profile now. When you want to create a meeting, the way I do this is I set up a meeting in Zoom by scheduling it. This is the quickest way to make sure that all of your settings are correct. You can also use your Zoom meetings directly from Outlook if you prefer using Outlook. So I'm going to title this my AP Computer Science, and this is going to be for my class on the 17th. I don't usually give a description. I pick the date and time, so this will be on the 17th at 9 a.m. And keep in mind, you can change, if you set it this should be 8 a.m. If you set this for a time that's not correct, you're not limited to that time. This is just scheduling it. And this is going to be about an hour and a half. Usually I go under that just because I give them time to work independently. Then you want to make sure that generate automatically, or you can use your personal meeting ID. It's up to you. It'll automatically put a passcode in. You want to decide if you want video on or off automatically when they join. So I usually keep everything off so that if you want your video, you can turn it on once you're in. Make sure that enable join before host is not selected. And this means that students will not be able to join the Zoom meeting without you accepting them to your meeting. The mute participants upon entry is something that I always go with too. And you can unmute the kids later. If you want to do breakout rooms, you can pre-assign them by creating the rooms and adding students in here, but it's really difficult unless you know the students' emails that they're going to be using when they join the Zoom. So I usually don't do my breakout rooms ahead of time. And then last but not least, automatically record. You can record the meeting and then save and then share that recording with your students if you choose. Just remember, when you record, it will give them a notification, and you really probably shouldn't share it outside of Teams because it is sensitive student information. I would look at the district's guidance on recording meetings in general. Once you're done, you press save, and it'll pull you up to that meeting. You can then copy the invitation, and this is all of the information that the students need to join. Realistically, the only information they need is the join link with the meeting ID and code. And I don't even think they need these two, but I always give them all of this information. The kids seem to know how to get in there after that. So they'll be able to click on that link at the correct time and join the meeting. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my meetings and say it's time to host my meeting. I'm going to click on this meeting and press start. And what it's going to do is it's going to prompt me to open it using the Zoom Meetings application. And if you don't have this application, it's going to prompt you to download it. So you're going to want to download that. So now it's going to open Zoom on my computer and begin the meeting. Now this is the first page that you're going to see. So right now, I'm going to stop the recording. I don't want it to record. Right now, I have no video turned on, but I do have my mic on. So I'm going to mute my mic just because there's nobody actually joining my conversation. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to click participants, and this is going to bring up the participants pane. Now, I don't have any students that are joining right now, so I'm just kind of telling you all of the things that you can do. But what you'll see is participants, those are the ones that are in the meeting. And then above this, as students start to ask to join, it will say requesting to join or in lobby. And you can accept or deny depending on if you want to let them in or not. You can also choose the accept all or admit all because the students can actually join completely there. You also get the join link again so that students can use that if you forgot to share it with them. So now I'm going to full screen this. And this is where all of the features of Zoom come into play. The security, this is where you can lock the meeting, meaning that things don't change. You can allow participants to share their screen. You can allow them to chat. You can allow them to rename themselves. You can turn those off if you don't want them, or you can turn them on if you do. Personally, I like them to be able to use the chat. If you click on the participants, now it's going to pull it up in a little window. You can also close it. The chat bar will bring up the group chat. You can also chat with other specific students by clicking on here and finding that student, and you can type a message privately to that student. The next thing is the share screen. If you click on share screen, it's going to give you options. You can connect your iPhone or iPad to your computer and share there. You can do their digital whiteboard. You can show the different browsers that you have open at the time or windows that you have open. You can also just show the entire screen. It all depends on what you're looking for. You want to make sure that if you're going to be showing students video that you click on the share computer sound so that the sound from your computer goes through to them. And then you would click the share button. When you do that, you're now going to see the green bar all the way around your screen. That's showing everything that I'm sharing. Now, if I want to change what I'm sharing, I can click New Share, change it to just showing them this, and click Share. And now I'm only sharing this. And I was able to change what I share with my students without having to do anything other than change share. Whereas in Teams, typically you have to stop the share and then you can go back. When you're done sharing, you just press Stop Share and it goes back to your main meeting. So again, if you have video, you get video and you'll be able to see people. Mine's not going to work because my video camera is dedicated to something else right now. You can also decide to record the meeting. And then this is the most powerful tool, breakout rooms. There's two ways you can do breakout rooms. You can assign your participants automatically or manually. So you can create however many rooms you want to make, maybe 10. And I'm going to do it automatically. So it automatically puts blank number of participants into each room. And when you click create rooms, they're going to get a prompt to join that room. And then they'll all be able to go in. Right now, I can assign students based on who are my participants. I can also open up a different setup. So if I want to change my breakout rooms, I want to go to, maybe now I only want 5. So now it's going to put them into new breakout rooms. Inside of this options, you can have them move to the breakout rooms automatically or not. I typically don't do it automatically just so that they can get those quick last second questions. You can have them come back to the main session at any time. And that one's really good because then if they're working in a group, they can still come back to your main Zoom and ask you questions. You can also say, I only want to have this as you guys are going to talk for 5 minutes, and then they're going to automatically close, and I want you to notify me when it's done. And then when you close your breakout rooms, you can also choose to have the countdown timer. I really like this because when I'm closing my breakout rooms, I usually say, all right, close breakout rooms. And then they get a little notification that says your breakout room is ending in 60 seconds. And it gives them a chance to wrap up what they're doing, kind of get all of their thoughts put together before they come back into the room. And you'll see the option down here that says close all rooms. But you can also then go to these rooms. Now, obviously, because we haven't started it because I don't have any participants, but if I were to see this, when I click open, I would see the participants in that room, and I would also see the option to join that breakout room. So this is a really powerful tool, especially if you want to increase collaboration with Zoom. Some other things that you can do inside of the participants, you can tell the students how to do this. If they click participants, they can actually give you some responses. So you can ask them a yes or no, and they can click yes. And then they could do no. They could ask you to go slower, go faster. They can give you a thumbs up, thumbs down. They can clap. They can say, I need a break. They can say, I need to step away for a second. And what's nice is it gives you a little counter to tell you how many of each response you've gotten. And so if I ask a question and I say, hey, give me a thumbs up when you're ready to move on. And then I can wait until I get a majority of the students with thumbs up. I click the clear all. It clears all of their responses and we can move on. Now, because we'd set up the automatically muting students at the beginning, if I choose this mute all button, this is going to mute everybody. I'm going to now be able to change it so that allow participants to unmute themselves. I like doing this as we start to open up discussions with everybody, because now I can say, okay, raise your hand if you can answer this question. And so for them, that might be a thumb up or something like that. They can also, then you can say, okay, John, you've got a question, unmute yourself. And now John can unmute himself, ask the question, and then remute themselves. And you can always mute them or unmute them at any given time, depending on what you want to do. Some other options in here, you can change the setting from muting all at the beginning. You can change it to let them mute or unmute. You can choose to have a chime play every time somebody enters or exits. So these are all those same settings if you didn't set them up when you originally created your meeting. Last but not least, when you're ready to finish, if you click on the end, you can leave the meeting or you can end it for everyone. When I click end meeting for all, it's going to kick everyone out of the meeting at the very end and allow them no more time to be in the Zoom chat by themselves. So these are just the basic features of how to use Zoom in the classroom. If you have any specific questions or need a tutorial or need some help setting it up, please, please, please let me know or let someone in the technology committee know so that we can help you set this up. It's a really powerful tool for synchronous learning and we want it to be successful. Thank you so much for watching the video, and hopefully if you have any more questions, let me know so I can make more for you guys.